Hi guys, welcome back to ABC General Hospital Spoilers channel. Today, we will dive deep into the swirling storm of drama surrounding Natalia Ramirez and Sonny Corinthos, whose lives are teetering on the edge of a dangerous abyss they might not even fully comprehend. What started as a seemingly personal predicament for Natalia has spiraled into a complex web of deceit, betrayal, and deadly intentions, with far-reaching consequences for the power players of Port Charles. Buckle up as we unpack the layers of this gripping saga, revealing hidden motives, secret alliances, and shocking twists that could change everything for our beloved characters. The perilous path of Natalia's legal woes. Let's start with the spiraling catastrophe that has become Natalia Ramirez's life. Recently, Natalia found herself in hot water after a reckless night led to her being pulled over for drunk driving. This isn't just a slap on the wrist for her. With a prior record of the same offense, she's staring down the barrel of a felony charge, which carries the weight of guaranteed prison time. The stakes couldn't be higher for the former CFO of Deception Cosmetics, whose polished exterior hides a past riddled with mistakes. Initially, the case landed in the hands of Assistant District Attorney Molly Lansing Davis, a woman known for her tenacity in the courtroom. However, Molly quickly stepped away, citing a tangled web of personal ties. Her sister once shared a romantic connection with Natalia's daughter, creating an ethical minefield she couldn't navigate. Enter interim district attorney Justine Turner, a shrewd and calculating figure who saw an opportunity in Natalia's predicament. Turner, with a reputation for playing hardball, swooped in with a plea deal that was less about justice and more about leverage. She approached Natalia with an insidious offer of spill sensitive information about her rumored associate, Sonny Corinthos, in exchange for leniency. Turner's cold, calculating gaze seemed to pierce through Natalia, as if she already knew the secrets bubbling beneath the surface of their relationship. Desperate to avoid the clanging bars of a jail cell, Natalia found herself at a crossroads, torn between loyalty and self-preservation. This wasn't just a legal battle. It was a moral quagmire that could drag her deeper into the underbelly of Port Charles' power struggles. Sonny's shadowy dealings and attempting escape. As Natalia wrestled with Turner's offer, Sonny Corinthos, the enigmatic kingpin of Port Charles, became entangled in her plight in ways neither could have anticipated. In a tense, late-night meeting inside the confines of his sleek black car, Natalia poured out her fears to Sonny, admitting that they were both in grave danger but not from the threats they might expect. Sonny, ever the strategist, confided in his trusted right-hand man, Jason Morgan, about the messy overlap of his business dealings with Natalia's tenure at Deception Cosmetics. He revealed a bombshell. Some of the funds he funneled into the company during her time as CFO weren't exactly above board. This financial skeleton in the closet could be the key to their undoing if exposed. Seeing the noose tightening around Natalia, Sonny offered her a life-a chance to disappear into a new life far from the chaos of Port Charles. He proposed a witness protection-style arrangement, complete with a fresh identity and a secluded property he owns in the tropical haven of Belize. Imagine it, white sandy beaches, the murmur of ocean waves, and a chance to leave behind the whispers of scandal and danger. But for Natalia, this escape came with a heavy price, abandoning everything and everyone she knows. As she weighed Sonny's offer under the flickering streetlights, her mind raced with images of a tranquil yet lonely future, a far cry from the turbulent life she's led. Would this be her salvation, or simply a gilded cage in disguise? Betrayal in the blood, Marco's dangerous game. The plot thickens when Natalia reconnects with her estranged son, Marco Rios, in a moment of vulnerability that could prove to be her gravest mistake. Sitting in a dimly lit diner, with the weight of the world on her shoulders, Natalia confided in Marco about a hidden flash trivia digital Pandora's box containing damning intel on Sonny Corinthos. She revealed that this explosive information is tucked away in a safety deposit box, a secret she hadn't even fully disclosed to Sonny himself. As the rain pattered against the diner windows, casting shadows across her worried face, Natalia seemed unaware of the storm she was about to unleash by trusting her son with such a volatile secret. Unbeknownst to her, Marco isn't the ally she hopes he is. Behind his concerned facade lies a chilling truth. He's secretly aligned with his father, Jen Sidwell, a ruthless figure from Natalia's past. Sidwell, an ex-husband whose abusive tendencies drove Natalia to divorce him, harbors a deep vendetta not just against her but against Sonny as well. Marco, torn between familial ties and his father's sinister influence, has never had a warm relationship with his mother, and his loyalty now lies with Sidwell's dark ambitions. In a clandestine meeting at an abandoned warehouse, Marco is likely to hand over every detail of the flash drive's existence to his father, arming Sidwell with the tools to dismantle both Natalia and Sonny in one devastating strike. The air is thick with betrayal, and the ticking clock of danger grows louder with each passing moment. Sidwell's sinister ambitions and political ploys. Jen Sidwell isn't just a personal threat, he's a master manipulator with his sights set on Sonny's empire. His hunger for control over Sonny's Pierce, a critical hub of influence in Port Charles, drives him to eliminate any competition standing in his way. But Sidwell's schemes extend beyond the criminal underworld. With a silver tongue and a knack for deception, he's managed to charm political heavyweights like Congressman Drew Cain and City Councilman Ezra Boyle, convincing them that he's turned over a new leaf. Gone, he claims, are the days of his mercenary past, replaced by a polished image of reform and legitimacy. At a lavish fundraising gala, Sidwell's charismatic presence and carefully crafted speeches paint him as a man of the people, but beneath the tailored suit lies the heart of a predator. Natalia, haunted by memories of Sidwell's cruelty during their marriage, lives in constant fear of his wrath. Her terror is palpable. She still flinches at the thought of his shadow crossing her path. This fear might push her to a desperate act, revealing Sonny's secrets to Sidwell in a misguided attempt to protect herself. It's a decision that could seal her fate, as Sidwell's plans don't include mercy for his ex-wife. Rumors swirl through the underbelly of Port Charles that Sidwell is orchestrating a grand scheme to frame Sonny for a heinous crime, perhaps even Natalia's impending demise. The streets whisper of a meticulously planned whodunit, with Sidwell's fingerprints carefully erased from the scene. His trail of deception already reeks of malice, and it's only a matter of time before his true colors are revealed to all. A shocking revelation and an uncertain future. In a heart-stopping twist just before tragedy strikes, Natalia uncovers a critical piece of the puzzle, the identity of Sonny's unseen attacker. In a clandestine meeting under the cover of darkness, she confronts Sonny with the chilling truth: Jen Sidwell is the puppet master behind the threats against him. Sonny, hardened by years of navigating Port Charles' dangerous waters, is visibly shaken by this revelation. His piercing eyes narrow as he processes the betrayal, struggling to wrap his mind around the idea that Sidwell, a ghost from Natalia's past, could be the architect of his potential downfall. The dimly lit room where they stand seems to close in around them. They are thick with tension and unspoken fears. How could he have missed the signs of such a formidable enemy lurking so close? As the pieces of this deadly game fall into place, the future looks bleaker than ever for both Natalia and Sonny. Natalia's days seem numbered, with Sidwell's shadow looming over her like a death knell. Meanwhile, Sonny faces the daunting task of outmaneuvering a foe who operates with ruthless precision, using both political charm and criminal cunning. The streets of Port Charles are a battlefield, and alliances are more fragile than ever. Will Natalia's final revelations be enough to save Sonny from the frame-up Sidwell has in store? Or will they both fall victim to a plot so intricate that escape seems impossible? One thing is certain, the storm is far from over, and the casualties of this war will leave lasting scars on the heart of Port Charles. Next, we will delve into the escalating tension between Dante Falconeri and Harrison Chase, two of Port Charles' finest detectives, whose partnership is on the verge of collapse. What starts as a clash of personal and professional boundaries spirals into a dramatic showdown, landing them in an unexpected place behind bars at the PCPD. Join us as we explore the intricate layers of mistrust, hidden secrets, and a bold intervention by Anna Devane that could either mend their bond or shatter it forever. This is a story of loyalty, betrayal, and the struggle to rebuild trust in the high-stakes world of law enforcement. A storm brews at the PCPD. The drama kicked off in Friday's explosive episode when Dante Falconeri strode into the Port Charles Police Department with a palpable air of frustration. As he settled at his desk, positioned back-to-back with Harrison Chase's, the tension between the two partners was almost tangible, crackling like static before a thunderstorm. Dante, his jaw set with determination, insisted their conversation remain strictly professional, a boundary he seemed desperate to enforce. Chase, however, wasn't buying it. With a skeptical raise of his brow, he pointed out that he's been left to handle a sensitive new case solo. under strict orders from interim district attorney Justine Turner for Dante to keep his distance. The air grew heavy with unspoken grievances as Chase questioned whether Dante could truly separate his personal turmoil from their shared duties. Unwilling to let the issue fester, Dante sought clarity from a trusted confidant, Tina Devane. In a quiet corner of the precinct, he poured out his frustrations, drawing a poignant parallel between his current situation and Anna's past decision to keep Robin Scorpio Drake's existence a secret from Robert Scorpio. Dante argued passionately that he deserved transparency, his voice laced with a rage of betrayal as he relived the sting of being kept in the dark. Returning to his desk, he faced an immediate confrontation from Chase, who accused him of letting personal emotions bleed into their work. Dante, unyielding, stood his ground, his eyes flashing with defiance as he refused to back down. The argument escalated until Dante's voice boomed through the precinct, accusing Chase of concealing a deeply personal secret tied to his wife. Just as the situation threatened to boil over, Anna stepped in, her commanding presence cutting through the chaos like a knife, determined to restore order before irreparable damage was done. The weight of a hidden past. At the heart of this rift lies a bombshell revelation that has shaken Dante to his core. Viewers will recall the gut-wrenching moment when Chase found himself caught between loyalty to his wife, Brooklyn Quartermaine Chase, and his duty to his partner. In a tearful confession under the soft glow of their home's living room, Brooklyn revealed a long-buried truth. During their teenage years, she had become pregnant with Dante's child. Heartbroken and overwhelmed at the time, she made the agonizing decision to give the baby up for adoption, all without ever telling Dante. For over 2 decades, she carried this secret like a heavy stone in her chest, until the truth finally unraveled, leaving devastation in its wake. Chase, bound by his love for Brooklyn, grappled with an impossible choice. Betraying her trust by revealing this intimate pain to Dante felt like a violation of their marriage, yet keeping silent meant fracturing the brotherhood he shared with his partner. When Dante eventually uncovered the truth, raw whispers and half-truths circulating in Port Charles wound cut deep. He felt not only the ache of a lost child he never knew but also the bitter sting of Chase's silence. The expectation of unwavering trust between these two detectives, forged through countless cases and late-night stakeouts, crumbled under the weight of this deception. Chase, equally tormented, struggles to make Dante see his side, to understand the moral tightrope he walked. Their shared frustration simmers, each man entrenched in his perspective, unable to bridge the growing chasm between them. Anna's drastic measures. Anna Devane, a seasoned leader at the PCPD, has grown weary of the incessant bickering that threatens to undermine the precinct's unity. By Monday, June 16th, her patience had worn thin, her sharp gaze revealing a mix of exasperation and resolve. Tired of watching two of her best detectives behave more like petulant children than the mature professionals they are, Anna decided it was time for a radical intervention. Her frustration wasn't just about their behavior, it was about the potential fallout, cases left unsolved, suspects slipping through cracks, and a team morale sinking lower with each heated exchange. She knew she had to act decisively to force a reckoning. In a jaw-dropping scene captured in the latest sneak peek video, Anna took a stance that left everyone stunned. With an authoritative tone that brooked no argument, she ordered Dante and Chase to surrender their badges and weapons, stripping them of their roles as enforcers of the law. "This ends now," she declared, her voice echoing through the precinct like a gavel striking wood. She refused to let them leave until they resolved their conflict and remembered what it meant to be true partners. As the tension mounted, Anna directed them to step into one of the PCPD's cold, dimly lit jail cells, a symbolic and literal confinement meant to mirror the prison of their discord. Though visibly displeased, their faces etched with a mix of disbelief and reluctant acceptance, both men complied, the clang of the cell door locking behind them ringing out like a final warning. Locked in conflict, a test of wills. Inside the cramped, stark confines of the jail cell, Dante and Chase face an environment as unforgiving as their current relationship. The concrete walls and steel bars serve as a stark reminder of what's at stake if they can't find common ground. Anna, stepping away to handle other urgent precinct matters, issued a final, humorous yet pointed instruction to a nearby guard. "If they start brawling again, spray them with the hose," her words, laced with a mix of exasperation and dry wit, underscored the absurdity of their situation while highlighting her desperate hope that confinement might force a breakthrough. The guard, a grizzled veteran of the PCPD, nodded with a smirk, ready to intervene if tempers flared beyond control. As the two detectives sit across from each other, the silence between them is deafening, broken only by the distant hum of precinct activity beyond the bars. Dante, leaning against the wall with arms crossed, wrestles with the pain of Brooklyn's secret and chases Roland, keeping it hidden. Chase, perched on the edge of the narrow cot, stares at the floor, burdened by guilt over his divided loyalties but frustrated by Dante's refusal to move past the hurt. This forced proximity strips away their usual distractions: case files, suspect interrogations, and the bustle of police work, leaving them no choice but to confront the raw emotions fueling their feud. Will the claustrophobic setting of the cell break through their stubborn defenses, or will it only deepen the rift? A path to reconciliation or continued discord? Upcoming spoilers hint at a glimmer of hope on the horizon for Dante and Chase, suggesting they might find a way to navigate this turbulent chapter and emerge as a stronger team. The question remains whether this unconventional timeout orchestrated by Anna will be the catalyst they need to rebuild their fractured trust. Imagine the possibilities: late-night conversations in the cell, where vulnerabilities are laid bare under the harsh fluorescent light, or a shared laugh over Anna's host-spraying threat that cuts through the tension. Perhaps they'll revisit memories of past cases solved together, like the time they took down a notorious smuggling ring at the docks, reminding themselves of the unshakable bond they once shared. Yet, the road to reconciliation is far from guaranteed. Lingering bitterness could keep them at odds, with Dante unable to forgive the years of secrecy and Chase struggling to balance his personal and professional lives. The cell might become a pressure cooker, intensifying their conflict rather than resolving it. As fans, we're left on the edge of our seats, wondering if this drastic measure will pave the way for renewed partnership or if the damage is too deep to repair. Will Dante and Chase emerge from confinement with a renewed sense of camaraderie, ready to tackle Port Charles' darkest crimes side by side, or will their partnership remain locked in a stalemate? Next, we will explore the perplexing emotional turmoil surrounding Willow Tate, whose recent meltdown and fainting spell in the courtroom have left fans buzzing with speculation. Could this dramatic collapse signal something deeper, perhaps a new chapter of life growing within her baby with Drew Kane? Or is there a more complex web of past traumas and hidden health concerns at play? Join us as we dive into the myriad possibilities, peel back the layers of Willow's poignant history, and ponder the implications of her latest breakdown in the heart of Port Charles. A sudden collapse, more than just shock. The courtroom was charged with emotion when Willow Tate, caught in a whirlwind of distress, staggered and fainted while attempting to leave alongside Drew Kane and her birth mother, Nina Reeves. Onlookers gasped as her knees buckled, her face pale as a winter moon, a stark contrast to the composed woman who, just a day prior, had shown remarkable strength. This wasn't the Willow fans have come to know: a resilient fighter who has weathered storms of loss and illness with an iron will. The incident has sparked a flurry of questions. Was this simply the result of overwhelming shock from the courtroom drama, or could there be an underlying cause yet to be uncovered? Her emotional unraveling seemed to erupt out of nowhere, a tidal wave of vulnerability that swept her off her feet literally. It's worth noting that Willow has faced intense situations before without crumbling. Even during confrontations with the sinister Shiloh Archer, or the tragic loss of her illegally adoptive mother, Harmony Miller, she held her ground with a quiet ferocity. So, what pushed her beyond her limits this time? Some speculate the weight of the courtroom revelations due to her tangled family ties and legal battles might have triggered an unprecedented stress response. Others whisper of something more personal, more visceral. Her collapse wasn't just a momentary lapse, it was a window into a deeper struggle, one that might hint at a life-altering change on the horizon for Willow and those closest to her in Port Charles. Echoes of past pregnancies, a pattern of pain. To understand Willow's current fragility, we must revisit the haunting chapters of her past pregnancies, each marked by unique trials and heart-wrenching outcomes. Her first pregnancy, with the manipulative cult leader Shiloh Archer, ended in tragedy when their baby boy passed away under mysterious circumstances. The devastating revelation that Wiley Corinthos, whom she believed to be another child, was actually her son Jonah Corinthos, added layers of grief and desperation to her story. This loss carved a permanent scar on her heart, fueling a fierce determination to protect her surviving children at all costs, a resolve that has defined her every action since. Her second pregnancy with Amelia Corinthos brought its own harrowing ordeal. Diagnosed with leukemia during this time, Willow faced an agonizing dilemma: accept treatment that could endanger her unborn child or risk her own life to ensure the baby's safety. In a decision that showcased both her selflessness and recklessness, she refused treatment, nearly sacrificing herself in the process. Amelia was delivered via cesarean section in a tense, touch-and-go moment at General Hospital, while Willow teetered on the brink of death. During this near-death experience, she encountered a vision of Harmony Miller beckoning her to the other side, a spectral plea to let go that she ultimately rejected. Comparing this to her current state, Willow's emotional volatility seems heightened, perhaps reminiscent of hormonal surge but different from the stoic endurance she displayed even under such dire circumstances with Amelia. Hormonal hints or hidden trauma. Could Willow's dramatic fainting spell and emotional breakdown be the early whispers of a new pregnancy, possibly with Drew Kane? Fans are abuzz with the theory that her body might be signaling the presence of new life, even if medical tests at General Hospital failed to detect it. When Willow was rushed to the hospital following her collapse, doctors ran a battery of tests, their primary concern being a potential relapse of her leukemia given her medical history. It's plausible that a pregnancy test wasn't prioritized, especially if she's only in the earliest stage, perhaps just 3 or 4 weeks along, when even the most sensitive tests might return a false negative. The subtle signs, like her uncharacteristic mood swings and physical weakness, could be the first clues of a hormonal storm brewing within. Yet, this theory is not without its complications. Willow's past pregnancies were high risk, each fraught with life-threatening challenges. If she is indeed pregnant, the specter of another difficult journey looms large. Her medical team, still haunted by how close they came to losing her during Amelia's birth, would likely approach any new pregnancy with heightened caution. Meanwhile, her emotional state raises additional red flags. The courthouse incident wasn't just a feint, it was as if her spirit momentarily shattered, overwhelmed by forces she couldn't articulate. Could lingering trauma from losing her first child and nearly dying with her second be resurfacing now, amplified by the possibility of another high-stakes pregnancy? The intersection of physical and psychological strain paints a picture of a woman on the edge, grappling with forces both within and beyond her control. A psychiatric puzzle, unpacking the breakdown. In the aftermath of her collapse, Willow has been assigned to a psychiatrist at General Hospital for a comprehensive psychological evaluation. Medical staff and loved ones alike are desperate to understand whether she's experiencing a full-blown nervous breakdown or if there's another explanation for her bizarre behavior. Just the day before her fall, Willow radiated strength and composure while assisting in the delivery of Michael Corinthos and Sasha Corbin's baby. She even visited the newborn in the hospital nursery alongside Michael and their children, discussing the hopeful prospect of joint custody with a calm, forward-looking demeanor. This stark contrast makes her sudden unraveling all the more jarring, the puzzle that demands solving. The psychiatric team is likely exploring multiple angles: the cumulative stress of her courtroom ordeal, the unresolved grief tied to her first child's death, and the lingering anxiety from her leukemia battle during Amelia's pregnancy. They might also consider whether the intense legal and familial conflicts surrounding her birth mother, Nina Reeves, have pushed her emotional reserves to their limit. Picture Willow in a quiet, sterile consultation room, her hands fidgeting as she recounts fragmented memories of the courtroom chaos, her voice trembling as she struggles to explain why her strength abandoned her in that critical moment. The psychiatrist's notepad fills with observations of her tearful eyes and halting speech, each detail a clue to whether this is a temporary lapse or a deeper mental health crisis. Until these sessions yield answers, speculation will continue to swirl about whether her mind, body, or both are signaling something profound. A high-risk future. What lies ahead for Willow? As we piece together Willow's story, one question looms larger than the rest: if she is pregnant, does this foreshadow another high-risk journey in her storyline? Her medical history paints a daunting picture. The loss of her first child for reasons still shrouded in mystery, coupled with the life-threatening leukemia that shadowed Amelia's birth, suggests that any new pregnancy could be fraught with peril. Doctors at General Hospital would likely classify her as a high-risk patient from the outset, monitoring every symptom with hawk-like precision. The mere thought of navigating another pregnancy could rekindle the terror of past near-death experiences, testing her resilience in ways even she might not anticipate. Moreover, the emotional toll of a potential pregnancy cannot be understated. Willow's fierce protectiveness over Wiley and Amelia stems from the pain of past losses, an instinct that would only intensify with a new baby on the way. Imagine her late-night conversations with Drew, her voice a mix of hope and fear as they discuss the possibility of expanding their family against the backdrop of such uncertainty. Meanwhile, her dynamic with Nina Reeves, already strained by years of mistrust and courtroom battles, could add another layer of complexity. Would a pregnancy bring them closer as they navigate shared family ties, or would it deepen the fractures? The road ahead for Willow promises to be a labyrinth of medical challenges, emotional reckonings, and familial reckonings, each step a potential turning point in her Port Charles saga. Thank you for joining us on ABC General Hospital Spoilers channel as we unravel the mystery behind Willow Tate's shocking collapse. The possibilities from an unexpected pregnancy to a profound emotional breakdown keep us on the edge of our seats, eager for the next twist in her story. What do you think is behind Willow's meltdown? Could a new baby be on the way, or is trauma from her past resurfacing? Drop your theories in the comments below, and stay tuned for more updates on the dramatic lives of Port Charles residents.